She posted on social media, "Ugh, why do men always think they own you?" Right after I asked her not to go on a weekend trip with her ex, I didn't comment, just changed my relationship status to single. She called me 23 times that night, but I was already on a date. I am 29-year-old male, and I need to get this off my chest, because I'm still processing what happened. 4 months ago, I thought I was engaged to the love of my life. Now I'm sitting in my new apartment watching her frantically text me while her life implodes, and I feel a quiet sense of relief. Let me back up. Mia and I had been together for 4 years, living together for 2, ringed for 6 months. We weren't perfect, who is? But I thought we were solid. She was beautiful, ambitious, had this laugh that made everyone in the room turn around. I was ready to lock it down. Then Jake happened. Or re-happened, I guess. Jake was her college ex, the one she dated for 3 years before me, the one whose name still made her face do this weird thing when someone mentioned him. He'd moved back to town in March for some startup job, and suddenly he was everywhere. Group dinners, game nights. "Oh, Jake's coming too. Hope that's cool." It wasn't cool, but I'm not controlling. I trusted her. First red flag? She started working out again. Not normal working out, 5 a.m. CrossFit, new activewear every week, those stupid inspirational quotes on her Instagram. She hadn't touched a weight in 2 years, but suddenly she's posting gym selfies at dawn. Second red flag? The phone guarding. We used to leave our phones anywhere. Now hers was face down, always on silent, practically glued to her hand. She'd angle it away when texting. Classic moves, but I told myself I was being paranoid. The breaking point came on a Thursday. She mentions, super casual over dinner, that Jake invited her to a work retreat in Tahoe. Just the two of them. For a weekend. "It's not like that," she said, twirling her pasta. "His investors will be there. It's networking." "What investors need you there?" I asked. She got defensive immediately. "Why are you being weird about this? Jake and I are friends. We've been over for years." "Then why didn't you mention it until now?" "The trip's tomorrow." "Because I knew you'd react like this." I stayed calm. "I'm good at that. Probably too good. I'm not comfortable with you going on a weekend trip with your ex-boyfriend. That's a normal boundary." She rolled her eyes. Actually rolled them, like I was her dad telling her she couldn't go to prom. "Fine, I won't go. Happy?" But she wasn't happy. She was pissed. Hissed. Silent treatment all evening, slamming cabinets the whole performance. I went to bed early because I had a presentation the next morning. I woke up at 5:30 on Friday to an empty bed. Her gym bag was gone, but so was her weekend bag, the one she'd unpacked the night before. An hour later, I saw her Instagram story, a selfie from the airport. Sunglasses, coffee, big smile. Caption, "Ugh, why do men always think they own you? Living my best life." The comments were already rolling in. Her friends hyping her up, dropping those little fire emojis. Yes, queen energy off the charts. I sat there for maybe an hour, just staring at my phone. I wasn't angry, not in a hot, screaming way. It was a cold, heavy feeling. The moment a switch flips and you realize you've been making excuses for someone who wouldn't cross the street for you. I felt the future we were building. The wedding, the house, the kids, all turned to smoke. I didn't comment on her post. Didn't text her. I got dressed, went to work, and nailed my presentation on autopilot. I spent the rest of Friday in a fog, letting the reality sink in. On Saturday morning, after a sleepless night, I made my move. I opened Facebook, navigated to my profile, and changed my relationship status to single. Then I turned off my phone, went for a run, and started making a plan. Update 1. By Saturday afternoon, I turned my phone back on. It was a nuclear meltdown. 30 missed calls, 200 plus texts. The progression was almost funny. "Babe, what's wrong? Why did you change your status? This isn't funny, change it back now. I'm in Tahoe, you can't do this to me while I'm here. Please answer me. You're being so immature right now. I can't believe you're doing this to me." My favorite was from her best friend Sophia. "Mia's having a panic attack in her hotel room. Whatever you're mad about, this is cruel." Cruel? I asked for one boundary. 1. I turned my phone off again. I needed a clean break from the noise. I spent the rest of the weekend cleaning the apartment, boxing up some of her things, and getting my head straight. On Sunday evening, I did something I hadn't done in 4 years. I texted Ashley. Ashley was this girl from my gym who'd been low-key flirting with me for months. always asking about my weekend plans, touching my arm when she laughed, that whole thing. I'd mentioned my girlfriend enough times to make it clear I was taken, but she'd literally said once, "Well, if that ever changes." It has changed. "Hey, random question," I texted. "Are you free this week? I've been wanting to try that new sushi place on 5th. She responded in under a minute. "Is this actually happening? How's Tuesday?" While Mia was figuring out how to cut her networking trip short, I lined up my first date in 4 years. And you know what? It was fun. When Tuesday came, Ashley was funny, smart, and didn't check her phone once. She actually asked me questions and listened to the answers. Around 9 p.m., I turned my phone on. 23 new missed calls from Mia. I didn't check the texts, but I did check Instagram. She'd deleted the airport post. Her story now had a black screen with "going through something. Please give me space." The audacity. She wanted space while blowing up my phone? Ashley must have noticed the look on my face. Bad breakup? Something like that. Want to talk about it? Not really. Is that weird? She smiled. Nope. Want to get dessert somewhere else? We ended up at this 24-hour diner, sharing a piece of chocolate cake and talking until midnight. When I finally got home, Mia's car was in the driveway. She must have flown back Monday. She was sitting on the porch steps, mascara wrecked, still looking exhausted from travel. "You ignored me for 3 days," she said. "You flew to Tahoe with your ex after I asked you not to." "I came back. I left a day early. Because I changed my relationship status, not because you respected me enough to stay." She started crying harder. "Where were you? I've been waiting." "Out." "Out where? Does it matter? We're not together anymore." The look on her face? Like I'd slapped her. "You can't be serious. We live together. We have a lease. You can't just..." "Actually, I can. I spoke with a legal aid service this weekend. The security deposit and the lease are solely in my name, and I've paid 100% of the rent. You're an occupant. I'm giving you your 30 days notice to vacate, in writing. After that, I'll have to start a formal eviction." I'd been thinking about that all weekend. Thank God for my paranoid mother, who'd insisted I protect myself when we moved in together. "You've been planning this," she whispered. "No, Mia. I've been ignoring this. There's a difference." Update 2. The next few weeks were hell. Mia refused to move out, dragging her feet until the last possible minute, so we lived like ghosts, avoiding each other, communicating through text, even when we were in the same house. She tried everything. Crying, anger, seduction, walking around in my old t-shirt and nothing else, even had her mom call me to say I was throwing away something beautiful. Beautiful? Sure. Like a sports car with no engine. But the real entertainment started when Jake's girlfriend reached out to me. Yeah. Girlfriend. Her name was Emma, and she'd been dating Jake for 8 months. She found me through some mutual friends on Facebook, sent me a message that started with, "I think our partners are having an affair." We met for coffee. Emma was exactly what you'd expect Jake to date. Tiny, blonde, probably had Live Laugh Love somewhere in her apartment. But she was also smart as hell and had receipts. "Look," she said, sliding her phone across the table. "His phone is synced to our apartment's iPad. He's an idiot. He never turned the iMessage sync off." Jake hadn't deleted anything. The conversations went back months, getting progressively more flirty, then explicit. Photos, videos, times and dates that matched up with Mia's sudden work trips and girls' nights. The Tahoe trip? Not a work retreat. Jake had booked a couple's suite at some resort. The investors didn't exist. "She told him she was leaving you," Emma said, her voice shaking a little, "that she just needed the right time." I laughed. Actually laughed. When was this? 3 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago, we'd been looking at wedding venues. Emma wanted to confront them together, make a big scene. I had a better idea. "Do nothing," I said. "Let them think they're getting away with it." "Why?" "Because the best revenge is letting people create their own consequences." She looked skeptical but agreed. We exchanged numbers and promised to keep each other updated. That night, Mia tried one more time. Came to my room. I'd moved to the guest bedroom, wearing lingerie I'd bought her for Valentine's Day. "I miss you," she said. "Can we just talk?" "Sure. Tell me about Jake." Her face went white. "What about Jake? Are you sleeping with him?" "No. God, why are you so obsessed with Jake?" The lying came so easy to her, like breathing. "No reason. just wondering why he booked a couple's suite in Tahoe. She tried to recover, stuttering about how it was probably a mistake, how hotels mess up reservations all the time. But I was already pulling up the screenshots Emma had sent me. Want to explain this text from the iPad? Can't wait to wake up next to you again? Or this one where you're describing what you want to do to him? She didn't cry this time. Just stood there, caught, calculating her next move. You went through my phone? Jake's girlfriend did. His messages are synced to her iPad. Emma says hi, by the way. That's when she lost it. Not sad crying. Rage. Threw the bedside lamp at me, missed by a mile, screaming about how I was pathetic, how Jake was twice the man I was, how I'd driven her to this. You're boring, she screamed. You're safe and predictable and boring. Jake makes me feel alive. Cool. Go feel alive at his place. I will. And when you realize what you've lost, I'll be relieved, I finished. She packed that night. Took half the stuff that wasn't hers, but I didn't stop her. Small price to pay for peace. Update 3. Remember how I said the best revenge is letting people create their own consequences? Well, 2 weeks after Mia moved in with Jake, Emma executed her own plan. She didn't confront them or make a scene. She did something much worse. She told the truth. See, Jake wasn't some random startup guy. He worked for Emma's father's company. Had been promoted fast because he was dating the boss's daughter. Classic setup. Emma didn't just break up with him. She scheduled a formal meeting with HR and her father, presenting a documented complaint of unethical client relations. Guess what? Mia's company was a client of theirs. Jake had been using his position to give Mia's company preferential treatment, billing them way under market rate to impress her. It wasn't illegal, but it was a massive conflict of interest and a clear violation of company policy. Jake was immediately suspended, pending an internal investigation. A week later, he was fired. But wait, it gets better. Mia had been bragging on social media about her new relationship. Posted photos from Jake's apartment, which was actually Emma's apartment. She'd been paying the rent. When Emma kicked Jake out, suddenly Mia and Jake were both homeless. They ended up at Mia's sister's place. A one-bedroom apartment with her sister's boyfriend, and 2 cats. Romantic. Meanwhile, I was thriving. Got promoted at work. Turns out I was way more productive without the constant drama. Started actually dating Ashley. Joined a bowling league, of all things. Living my best boring life. Then last week, Mia texted me. Can we talk? I almost ignored it, but curiosity won. We met at a Starbucks, public and neutral. She looked rough, hair thrown up, no makeup, wearing sweats. The glow-up she'd been posting about on Instagram was apparently just good lighting and filters. I fucked up, she said, no preamble. Yep. Jake and I are done. It was a mistake. The whole thing. Okay. She stared at me like she was waiting for something. That's it? Okay. What do you want me to say, Mia? She started crying. I want to come home. That's not happening. We were together for 4 years. You're just gonna throw that away? The entitlement. Even after everything, she thought she could just come back? I didn't throw anything away. You did. When you chose to sneak around with your ex, when you lied to my face, when you posted about me owning you because I had one boundary. I made a mistake. No, you made about 100 choices. Every text, every lie, every time you gaslit me into thinking I was crazy for being uncomfortable with Jake. She tried to grab my hand. I pulled away. I'll do anything, she said. Therapy, whatever you want. I want you to learn from this. Just not with me. I left her crying in Starbucks. Felt bad for about 10 seconds until I remembered all the nights I'd stayed up wondering what I'd done wrong, why I wasn't enough. Ashley texted me as I was walking to my car. How'd it go? Like I expected. You okay? Better than okay. And I was. Whatever. The funny thing about betrayal is that it teaches you who you really are. I learned I'm not someone who needs revenge or drama or big confrontations. I just need honesty and respect. Mia learned that Instagram stories aren't real life, that feeling alive doesn't pay rent, and that boring guys who respect themselves don't take you back. Jake learned that syncing your phone to your girlfriend's iPad is a bad idea when you're cheating on her. Emma learned she's a badass who doesn't need anyone's approval to protect herself. And somewhere in all this mess, I learned that changing your relationship status to single isn't giving up. Sometimes it's setting yourself free. Edit, Since everyone's asking, yes, I'm still with Ashley. It's been 4 months and we're taking it slow. She knows the whole story and jokes that she owes Mia a thank you card. We went bowling last week with my league. She's terrible at it but laughs every time she gets a gutter ball. It's nice being with someone who doesn't treat your boundaries like suggestions. And no, I haven't heard from Mia since the Starbucks incident. Blocked her on everything. Her sister occasionally likes my Instagram posts, which is weird, but whatever. Not my circus anymore. My cheating girlfriend's boxer lover beat and threatened me. I said, bring it on. Then I had him arrested for assault. Now both of them are begging me to drop the charges. 28 male, been with Leslie 26 for 3 years. Thought we were solid. Boy was I wrong, El Mayo. So last month I'm coming home early from work cause my manager let us out after we finished this big project. Usually get home around 6, but it's like 2 p.m. I'm thinking I'll surprise Leslie. Maybe take her out for lunch or something. Walk into our apartment and hear noises from the bedroom. My stomach drops. You know that feeling when you know what's happening but your brain won't accept it? Yeah, that. I push open the door and there's Leslie with some dude I've never seen before. Big guy, muscles everywhere, looked like he lived at the gym. They scramble to cover up and I just stand there like an idiot for a few seconds. Then the guy, let's call him Howard, gets up and starts getting in my face. Who the hell are you? He says, like I'm the intruder in my apartment that I pay rent for. I'm her boyfriend, I say, trying to stay calm even though my hands are shaking. And you need to leave. This guy actually laughs. Nah bro, I think you need to leave. Leslie told me all about you, said you're barely around, don't satisfy her needs, time to move on. I look at Leslie and she won't even meet my eyes, just sitting there wrapped in my sheets. Get out, I tell him again. Both of you, get dressed and get out. That's when Howard sucker punches me. Right in the jaw. I go down hard, seeing stars. Dude's apparently some amateur boxer, found out later, and knows how to throw a punch. While I'm on the ground, he leans down and says, stay away from Leslie. She's mine now. You come near her again, and next time will be worse. They leave me there on the floor of my own bedroom. I taste blood in my mouth. My face is already swelling up. First thing I do after they leave, take pictures. My face, the bedroom, everything. Then I go to the ER. Tell them exactly what happened. They document everything, take more photos. The nurse asks if I want to file a police report. Hell yes I do. Cops show up, take my statement. I give them Howard's description, show them the medical documentation. They seem pretty interested when I mention he threatened me too. That night I get like 50 texts from Leslie. Everything from, I'm sorry, to, it's not what it looked like, really, to, please don't do anything crazy. I don't respond to any of them. Next day I call my landlord, explain the situation, ask about getting Leslie off the lease. He's surprisingly cool about it, says with a police report for domestic violence happening in the unit, he can expedite it. Then I start packing all her stuff. Every single thing. Clothes, makeup, her favorite coffee mug, everything. Put it all in boxes by the door. The cops call me 2 days later. They found Howard, arrested him for assault because of his boxing background and the threats. They're taking it pretty seriously. Dude's looking at actual charges. That's when things get real interesting. Update 1. Holy shit, this blew up. Thanks for all the support. Some of y'all asked for updates, so here we go. After Howard got arrested, I started getting bombarded from all sides. First, it was Leslie blowing up my phone. When I didn't answer texts, she started calling. I'm talking 40 to 50 calls a day. Voicemails crying, begging me to talk to her. Then her mom starts calling me. Her mom. This woman who used to treat me like family is now telling me I'm ruining her daughter's life and being vindictive. She actually said boys will be boys about Howard punching me. I couldn't believe it. But the best part? Howard's boys start hitting me up on social media. These roided out gym bros sending me messages like, bro, you really gonna snitch? Howard was just protecting his girl. Drop the charges before something happens. I screenshot everything. Every single message. Yesterday, Leslie shows up at my work. Security won't let her in, thank God, but she's outside making a scene. My coworkers are all watching through the windows as she's crying and yelling that she needs to talk to me. My manager comes over, asks if everything's okay. I show him the police report. Explain the situation. He's pissed, not at me, at her. Tells security she's banned from the property, and if she comes back, they'll call the cops. But here's where it gets good. Remember those threatening messages from Howard's boys? I take those straight to the detective handling the case. He's very interested. Tells me that's witness intimidation, and they take that seriously. Today I get a call from Howard's lawyer. Lawyer. Dude actually hired a lawyer who wants to discuss the situation. Says Howard is very sorry and wants to make this right. Offers to pay my medical bills if I drop the charges. I laugh and hang up. Then Leslie somehow gets my new number. I changed it, but my coworker Joel felt bad for her and gave it to her. He apologized later. Texts me that Howard is going to lose his ability to compete in boxing if he gets convicted. That this is his whole life. That I'm destroying his future over a misunderstanding. A misunderstanding. He punched me in my own home while sleeping with my girlfriend, and it's a misunderstanding. I don't respond, but I do forward those texts to my lawyer. Yeah, I got one too now. Oh, and the best part? Found out from mutual friends that Leslie and Howard have only been together for like 6 weeks. 6 weeks. She threw away 3 years for a dude she's known for 6 weeks, who's now facing assault charges. Tomorrow I'm meeting with the prosecutor. They want to move forward with the case. Howard is looking at assault charges, and because of the threats from his boys, there might be additional charges for intimidation. Leslie's stuff is still in boxes by my door. She won't come get them because she knows I'll call the cops if she shows up. Her mom won't come get them because she's not enabling my petty behavior. So they're just sitting there, planning to donate them to Goodwill if she doesn't claim them in the next 2 weeks. I'll update after the prosecutor meeting. Update 2. Alright, y'all wanted more updates. Here's where we're at. Met with the prosecutor. She's this no-nonsense woman who took one look at my evidence and said we're definitely moving forward. Showed her all the screenshots, the medical records, everything. She said with Howard's training as a boxer, his hands are considered weapons in court. That plus the intimidation from his crew, dude's in serious trouble. But that's not even the craziest part. Leslie's dad reached out to me. Her dad. Now I always got along with him better than her mom. He calls me up, says he wants to meet for coffee. I'm hesitant but agree. We meet up and this man looks tired. Tells me he's embarrassed by his daughter's behavior, that he didn't raise her to be like this. Then he drops a bomb. Apparently, this isn't the first time Leslie's done this. She cheated on her ex before me too, but that guy just walked away. He actually apologizes to me. Says I don't deserve this and he supports whatever I decide to do. Even offers to help me move her stuff out. I almost felt bad for him. Almost. That night, Howard's boys escalate. I get a DM with a picture of my car in the parking lot at work. Message says, "Nice ride. Be a shame if something happened to it." I don't even hesitate. Straight to the police. They're now investigating this as organized intimidation. Detective tells me they're building a solid case because apparently Howard's gym crew has been pulling this intimidation stuff with other people too. Next day, HR calls me in. Someone was asking about my schedule at the front desk. Description matches one of Howard's boys. My manager is done. They put out an alert to all security and tell me I can work from home for the next 2 weeks while this gets sorted out. Thank God for understanding employers. Then things get real stupid. Leslie makes a TikTok. A TikTok. Crying about how her toxic ex is ruining her new relationship. How I'm jealous and can't handle that she's moved on. Doesn't mention that her new relationship started while we were together. Doesn't mention the assault. Just makes me look like some psycho ex. It goes mini viral in our city. Random people I don't even know are commenting about what a piece of shit I am. Her followers eating it up. But remember Joel from work? The one who gave her my new number? Well, he feels guilty about that. Really guilty. So he comments on the TikTok with the real story. Includes dates, timeline, everything. Even mentions the assault. He's got receipts because he was there when security had to remove Leslie from the building. The comments turn quick. People start calling her out. Someone finds Howard's boxing profile and posts his arrest record. The video gets deleted within hours, but damage is done. Howard's lawyer calls again. Now they're offering $10,000 to drop charges. $10,000. I tell him no thank you and end the call. But here's the kicker. Leslie's lease violation gets processed. She has 30 days to get her stuff out. Landlord serves her notice at her mom's house, where she's staying. Her mom calls me screaming about how I'm making her daughter homeless. I remind her that her daughter made herself homeless when she decided to cheat in the apartment we shared. She calls me a vindictive little man and hangs up. That was yesterday. Today I woke up to my car having sugar in the gas tank. Joke's on them though. I installed a dash cam and security cam after the first threat. Got crystal clear footage of one of Howard's boys doing it. Cops arrested him this morning. He's looking at felony vandalism and intimidation charges now too. The prosecutor called. Says with everything piling up, Howard is looking at 3 to 5 years. His lawyer is now desperately trying to get him to take a plea deal. Still haven't heard from Leslie directly since the TikTok disaster. Her stuff is still in boxes. Already scheduled Goodwill to pick them up next week since she never claimed them. I'll update after the court hearing. Final update. This is probably my last update. What a ride. So, Howard ended up taking a plea deal. Here's what he got. 18 months in prison, could be out in 12 with good behavior. 3 years probation, after that. Anger management classes, $5 restitution to me for medical bills and car damage. Permanent restraining order. Banned from competing in sanctioned boxing matches for 5 years. His boy who messed with my car got 6 months and has to pay for the repairs. The rest of his crew got charged with intimidation. Most got probation and fines. That gym basically lost half their members when word got out about their bullying tactics. But wait, there's more drama. During the hearing, Leslie showed up, dressed all nice like this was some movie. Tried to approach me outside the courthouse. My lawyer shut that down real quick, but she managed to yell, "This is all your fault," before security stepped in. Then her mom tried to play the guilt card. Sends me this long letter about how I've destroyed 2 young lives, and how Howard was gonna propose to Leslie, but now can't because he's in prison. Like that's supposed to make me feel bad? You were gonna marry the dude who assaulted your daughter's ex? Okay, the best part though? Remember Leslie's dad who apologized to me? Well, he's divorcing Leslie's mom. Apparently this whole situation was the last straw. He's tired of enabling his daughter's behavior and his wife supporting it. He texted me saying he's sorry about everything and hopes I can move on. I did donate Leslie's stuff, all of it. Goodwill was happy to take it. She texted me from another new number calling me heartless. I didn't respond. Then last week, I get a DM on Instagram. It's from a girl named Brooke. Says she dated Howard last year and he did the same thing. Beat up her ex when she tried to break up with him. She never pressed charges because she was scared. She thanked me for standing up to him. We actually grabbed coffee. She's cool. We're not dating or anything. Just nice to talk to someone who gets it. She told me Howard has a pattern. Finds girls in relationships, convinces them to cheat, then gets violent when there's confrontation. Real stand-up guy. As for me, I'm doing therapy, covered by the victim's fund, thanks prosecutor lady. Got a better apartment in a nicer area. Work gave me a small raise for handling a difficult situation professionally, which was cool. Started hitting the gym myself. Different one, obviously. And honestly, feeling better than I have in years. Looking back, Leslie did me a favor. Yeah, it sucked. Yeah, getting punched sucked more. But I was in a relationship with someone who could throw away 3 years for a violent asshole she'd known for 6 weeks. Better to find out now than after marriage or kids. To everyone who messaged me support, thank you. To everyone who said I should have been a man and fought Howard, miss me with that. I'm 5'10", 165 pounds and work in IT. He's 6'3", 220 pounds and punches people for fun. I fought him the smart way and won. Don't let anyone make you feel bad for standing up for yourself legally. Document everything. Press charges. Let the system work. Oh, and one last thing. Saw on Facebook that Leslie's already dating someone new. Some guy from her mom's church. Been together 2 weeks and she's already posting about finally finding real love. Feel sorry for that dude, but not my problem anymore. I'm out. Peace. Edit. Since people keep asking, yes, I have all the documentation, but I'm not posting it because I don't want to dox myself. If you think it's fake, cool, move on. But everything I wrote happened, and I have the restraining order and restitution checks to prove it. Also, to the people saying I ruined Howard's life. No, Howard ruined Howard's life when he decided to assault someone. Actions have consequences. Don't want assault charges? Don't assault people. It's pretty simple. My fiancé said, "The wedding is off, I'm keeping the ring." I responded, "As you wish." Then my lawyer sent her a bill for her share of all non-refundable wedding deposits and proof the ring was a family heirloom. Suddenly, she wanted to talk things over. I'm 32, male, let's call me Justin. Or I guess, I was on the fast track to being a 32 husband. Wedding was slated for 6 weeks from now. 6 freaking weeks. Venue locked, caterer chosen, and deposit paid, naturally. Even Nicole's obsession, those artisanal honey favors, were already boxed up. So last Tuesday, I'm mid-presentation at work, phone buzzes. It's Nicole, 30. I step out, expecting a wedding mini-crisis. "Hey, what's up?" Her voice, flat. "Justin, I can't do this." "Can't do what?" "The presentation, almost done." "No," she cuts in. "The wedding, us, I can't marry you." Brain.exe stopped working. I think I actually mumbled, "LOL, what?" because it was that absurd. "I'm serious, Justin. It's off." I'm not happy. Gut punch. Found an empty conference room, sank into a chair. "Nicole, what the hell? 6 weeks. Everything's paid. What gives?" "I just can't. It's not right for me." Vague, vague, vague. Years together, a future sketched out. Poof, gone. Then the cherry on top of this crap sundae. "And just so we're clear," she says, voice suddenly firmer, almost smug, "I'm keeping the ring. It was a gift. My friends all say it's mine. The ring, not just any ring. My great-grandmother's Edwardian diamond ring, a century of family history, given with the understanding of marriage, appraised at over $15K, but its real value isn't monetary, it's legacy. The audacity. One breath to shatter our life, the next to claim a family heirloom like a prize from a cereal box. Something inside me just shifted. Hurt was there, yeah, a big one. But a strange, cold calm took over. "As you wish, Nicole," I said, voice perfectly even. "Oh, okay, good." She sounded thrown, maybe miffed I wasn't dissolving into a puddle of tears. "I'll arrange to get my things." "Fine." Hung up. Sat there for 10 minutes, staring at nothing. Then I called Miss Catherine Roth, my family's lawyer. Let's call her Miss Catherine. Not for divorce advice, but for a different kind of strategy. Nicole thought she could light the fuse and waltz off with the valuables. She had no clue what was coming. Update. Alright, Reddit. 1 week post-detonation day. Thanks for the backup on my last post. Good to know her entitlement registered on the WTF scale for others too. So, Miss Catherine. She's petite. Looks like she'd bake you cookies, but has the legal bite of a shark. Exactly what I needed. I laid it all out. The sudden cancellation, the shared financial black hole, and the heirloom ring. Miss Catherine listened, took meticulous notes, and then that smile, the one that says, "Oh, this will be fun. Mr. My last name," she purred. "Conditional gifts, shared liabilities. Miss Nicole has made some ill-advised assumptions." Sweet, sweet words. A few days later, a very official, very lawyerly letter landed on Nicole's doorstep. She'd shacked up with her friend Pamela. Registered mail, signature required. Inside, an itemized invoice for her share of the non-refundable wedding chaos. Venue deposit, $10K. Her half, $5,000. Caterer deposit, $4K. Her half, $2,000. Photographer retainer, $2.5K. Her half, $1,250. Honeymoon flights and non-refundable resort bits. Her half, $1,500. Miscellaneous, flowers, invites, etc. Her half, $500. Total damage she was now responsible for, $10,250. Payment requested in 15 business days. A very clear, very firm section about the ring. Copies of my great-grandmother's will. Ring explicitly for his future bride upon marriage. Notarized affidavits from my parents about its history and conditional presentation. Old family photos, grandma and mom wearing the ring at their weddings. The appraisal certificate detailing its lineage and value. The message, the ring was conditional. Condition, marriage voided by her. Return it to Miss Catherine's office within 10 business days. It took precisely 48 hours post-delivery for the fireworks. Nicole's text started pinging. WTF is this, Justin? Are you serious? I know you wanted to save me. You still wanted it. As if that negates her breaking the agreement. And the ring was a gift. It's mine. Silence from my end, per Miss Catherine. All comms through legal. Then the calls. Nicole, ignored. Then her mother Brenda. Oh, Brenda. Brenda's voicemail. Justin, honey, Nicole's mother. A terrible misunderstanding. Nicole is distraught. This legal letter isn't like you. Call off your lawyer. This is a family matter. And that ring just looks so lovely on Nicole's hand, dear. It would be a shame. A shame. The audacity is apparently genetic. Next up, Pamela, Nicole's BFF, took to Instagram, vague, dramatic quotes about toxic people and wolves in sheep's clothing. One gem featured Nicole's hand ring sparkling. Captioned, "Some things are forever, even when people try to take them away. Hashtag unbreakable, hashtag my bestie deserves happiness." The delusion was palpable. Finally, about an hour ago, Nicole called again, voicemail. Justin, voice tight, confidence noticeably absent. My lawyer, yes, I have one now, says this is ridiculous. But, look, this is a mess. Can we just talk, please? Talk things over, before this gets even uglier? There it was. The let's talk. Hit it when they realize you're not just going to eat the loss. I texted back. Any discussions can be scheduled through Ms. Catherine. She is available to meet with you and your counsel. Her reply, no, Justin, just you and me, please. I thought we meant more to each other than this. A tiny flicker of the old days. Then I remembered her cold voice, her greedy grab for the ring, her total indifference to the financial crater she'd left. This isn't about what we meant. It's about her adulting up and facing consequences. I'll meet her. Public place, daytime. Miss Catherine on standby. Update 2. The talk went down yesterday. Busy coffee shop, Saturday morning. Witnesses and an easy escape route. My conditions. I also hit record on my phone's voice memo app. Legal in my state, single-party consent. Miss Catherine said, listen, don't agree to anything, just gather intel. Nicole was there first, looking like she hadn't slept, less defiant. More, my life choices are biting me in the ass. She even managed a wobbly smile. Justin, thanks for coming, she began, overstirring her latte. Nicole, black coffee for me, no frills. This whole lawyer thing, it's so impersonal, aggressive, she said. You calling off our wedding 6 weeks out via a 2-minute phone call, and then trying to keep a family heirloom, felt pretty aggressive and impersonal, Nicole. My voice was quiet, but it landed. Her eyes welled. I know. I handled that badly. I was panicking. So your panic response was to claim a $15,000 ring that isn't yours? Eyebrow arched. It was mine. You gave it to me, she insisted, voice cracking. Everyone knows that ring was mine. It's humiliating to have to give it back. It was contingent upon a marriage you canceled, Nicole. My great-grandmother's will is clear. As for the wedding expenses, we agreed to split costs. We have emails, texts, a shared spreadsheet. She deflated a bit. Okay, fine, the wedding stuff. Maybe I owe some, but not all of it. That honeymoon, you picked that expensive resort. Correction, she picked it after a month-long Instagram deep dive. Nicole, you initialed the resort on our shared planning sheet. Her face tightened. My mom says you're just being vindictive, trying to punish me. This isn't punishment, it's accountability. Your decisions have financial consequences. To the waterworks. Actual tears, I think. But Justin, I don't have $10,000. I just bought that new car, and the ring, it means so much to me. It symbolizes my family's heritage, Nicole, and it will go to the person I eventually marry. That came out harsher than intended, but it was true. A nasty flicker in her eyes. So you're already thinking about replacing me? I'm thinking about protecting my family's property and my finances after you blew up our engagement. She shifted gears. What if I give you back the ring, she said, as if offering the kidney. If you drop the demand for the wedding money. The negotiation. No, Nicole. 2 separate issues. You owe the money because you broke our agreement to marry, making us both liable for non-refundable services. The ring returns because it's a conditional gift, and the condition is void. No trade. She scoffed. You're being impossible. So rigid. Just then her phone buzzed. A text from Pamela. Nicole glanced at it, then glared at me. Pamela saw your car. She says I shouldn't be alone with you, that you're trying to bully me. Bully you? By asking for what's legally mine? Nicole, get a grip. Then her supposed trump card. I was under so much stress planning the wedding. You weren't always supportive. That stress made me realize I couldn't do it. So really, she leaned in, smirking. It's partly your fault. You should absorb more costs. My jaw nearly unhinged. My fault? Nicole, I okayed the artisanal honey favors that cost more than my first car. If I was unsupportive, it was by not pointing out your vision was financially insane. A little outburst, my bad. But the nerve, smirk gone. She stood up, chair scraping. Forget it. I'll talk to my lawyer. You'll be hearing from them. You're not getting a dime without a fight, and you'll have to sue me for the ring. She stormed out, leaving a half-drunk latte and a confused barista. My brief, is this worth it, moment, vaporized. Her entitlement was stunning. She genuinely thinks she can just cause chaos and keep the spoils. Brenda called my parents later. Mom told her Nicole was acting like a damn fool and should return the ring and pay up before Justin takes her to the cleaners. Dad advised Brenda that Miss Catherine was excellent and Nicole should listen to her own lawyer. Pamela's smear campaign intensified. More vague booking, DMs to mutuals painting me as a monster. Jokes on her. Most know I'm about as aggressive as a damp sponge. They're seeing her true colors. So, talking things over was a spectacular failure. Now we wait for her lawyer. Miss Catherine seems to be relishing this. I'm just tired, but more resolved. She wants a fight? Game on. Final update. Well, Reddit, it's been a couple of months. And what a ride. This roller coaster had more twists than I bargained for, but we finally, blessedly, pulled into the station. After our coffee shop showdown, Nicole's lawyer, a slick character named Mr. Perkins, sent his reply. It was a masterclass in deflection. He argued the ring was an unconditional gift, ignoring our evidence, and that wedding costs were traditionally the groom's burden. Hello, 1950. He even insinuated Nicole felt duress from me during planning. Duress. Because I suggested we not gold-plate the napkins. The nerve. Miss Catherine dismantled his arguments with surgical precision in her response. She restated our position, attached more evidence, including an affidavit from a jeweler I'd consulted before deciding on the heirloom, who remembered me discussing its family significance, and set a hard deadline. 10 business days to return the ring and propose a payment plan for the $10,250. Or we file. This is when Team Nicole went full scorched earth. The social media smear. Pamela cranked her campaign to 11. Edited texts out of context. A private Facebook group, The Truth About Justin P. It backfired. Mutual friends seeing Pamela's obsessive behavior started sending me screenshots and support. Some even joined her group to post the actual context. Glorious. The workplace whine. Brenda, Nicole's mom, emailed my HR department, vaguely accusing me of unstable behavior and financial bullying. Luckily, I'd given my boss a heads up. HR saw it for what it was, a personal dispute with no merit, and shut it down professionally. The brotherly bluster, attempted. Nicole's brother Brandon, a large fellow, called me, all puffed up. You think you can sue my sister? Take her ring? You got another thing coming. I calmly told him threats would be reported, along with the recording of his call. And all comms must go via lawyers. He grumbled and hung up. I filed a police report for documentation. Miss Catherine was my anchor. Let them flail, Justin. They're digging their own hole deeper. The 10-day deadline passed. No ring. No payment plan. Miss Catherine filed small claims for the $10,250 and a civil action, writ of replevin, for the ring's return. The sheriff served Nicole at her apartment with Pamela. I'd have paid to see that. Suddenly, Mr. Perkins was much more amiable. Funny how official court papers can change a lawyer's tune. He called Miss Catherine. Apparently, Nicole hadn't quite grasped the reality of bailiffs, court dates, credit score annihilation, or being liable for the ring's full $15,000 appraised value if she damaged or sold it. Plus, her own legal bills were piling up. Brenda and Pamela were great cheerleaders, but not so great at opening their wallets for Nicole's legal defense. The negotiations this time were swift. Perkins tried one last Hail Mary. Nicole is very emotionally attached to the ring. Perhaps Mr. My last name would let her purchase it at its appraised value. Miss Catherine, according to her gleeful retelling, just laughed. Mr. Perkins, that ring is priceless to my client's family. It is not for sale, especially not to the woman who caused him this significant distress. Now, about its return and the settlement, the payoff. A week later, it was done. The ring. Nicole, flanked by Perkins, met Miss Catherine at her office. Ring handed over. Miss Catherine had it immediately verified by a jeweler. Correct, undamaged. Seeing that ring back in its box, not joy, but profound relief. My mom cried happy tears when I showed her. The money. Nicole agreed to pay the full $10,250. Perkins argued for a reduction. Miss Catherine held firm, citing the unnecessary drama Nicole had caused. Nicole's paying in 2 installments. First one cleared last week. Second due next month. Heard Brenda had to co-sign a loan. Ouch. The social debris. Pamela's hate group vanished. Nicole's supporters went silent once they realized she actually had to pay and return property. True friends rallied. The rest, cut loose. No drama. I saw Nicole at the grocery store a few days ago. She saw me, blanched, and practically teleported to another aisle. Good. What now? I'm moving on. The wedding fund is becoming a condo down payment for me. My family's relieved the heirloom is secure. I'm reconnecting with friends. There's a lingering sadness, sure. Feelings don't have an off switch. But her actions, the entitlement, the deceit, showed me a side of her that killed whatever love remained. I don't know if Nicole learned a thing. Don't care. She faced real-world consequences. That's enough. My revenge wasn't about destruction. It was about justice and protecting what's mine. And on that front, mission accomplished. This whole mess was a crash course in believe people when they show you their true colors, and hire a damn good lawyer. Thanks for following my saga Reddit. Time to turn the page. My wife faked a breakdown to avoid signing divorce papers. I said nothing. Then I hired a private investigator. 3 days later, her plan collapsed. ML was married to Qley, 36 for 10 years. The last 2 have been rough, like truly grinding gears no oil rough. We tried counseling, date nights, the works. Nothing. So 6 months ago, I said the D word, divorce. It wasn't pretty. Tears, accusations, the usual. But eventually she seemed to agree. We started the paperwork, aiming for amicable. No kids, thankfully. Assets are straightforward. A house, mostly my down payment, but marital property I get it, some savings. I was ready to be fair, even generous, just to get it done. Fast forward to last week. My lawyer sends over the final settlement and divorce papers. Standard stuff. I signed, sent them to Qley's lawyer, expected them back promptly. That's when the theatrics began. Qley calls me, voice cracking. Peter, I can't. I just can't. Can't what, Qley? Your lawyer reviewed everything. It's what we discussed. No, I can't do this. I had a moment when the papers arrived. I think I'm having a breakdown. A real one. This was Monday. Qley can be dramatic. She once had a meltdown over her favorite brie being out of stock. But this was Oscar-worthy. Palpitations, dizziness, inability to leave her bed, all triggered, supposedly, by the sight of divorce papers. I went to our old house. I'd moved to a rental a month prior. The place was a mess, not depressed mess, more staged depression mess. Qley was in bed, lights off, clutching a lavender eye pillow. Pale, yes, but an underlying composure. Peter, she whispered, I need you. I can't sign anything. Not now. I'm not, well, you wouldn't kick me when I'm down, would you? Wide, pleading eyes. Here's the thing. I know Qley. Or thought I did. Something felt deeply off. This wasn't grief. It felt like a strategy. A desperate one. I played along. Of course not, Qley. Your health is paramount. We can pause everything, focus on getting better. I even fluffed her pillows, made tea. Inside, my brain was blaring red alert. She asked me to stay the night on the couch naturally, claiming fear of being alone. I politely declined, citing an early work meeting. Promised to check in. The second I got to my apartment, I was on Google. private investigator near me. Julie has always been adept at getting her way. Right now, she wanted to avoid signing those papers. Why? Money, probably. Fair isn't everything, or maybe control. It's a potent drug. Hired a PI the next morning, Tuesday. A discreet ex-cop, Tyler. I explained the situation. Soon-to-be ex faking a debilitating mental breakdown. My suspicion of manipulation. I needed proof. Tyler said he'd start immediately and report any significant findings ASAP, aiming for a fuller picture in a few days. I continued the concerned future ex-husband act. Texts, how are you feeling? Need anything? Short, supportive, non-committal. Her replies, still fragile, can barely eat, the world feels too loud. Yeah, okay, I'm patient. But Julie, honey, you underestimated me. Game on. Update, it's Friday. What a week. On the surface, I'm Mr. Empathetic, checking on Julie. Thinking of you, I text. Hope you're resting. It makes my skin crawl now, but the illusion must be maintained. Her responses remain pure melodrama. Julie, thanks, Peter. So hard. Dr. Douglas, her GP, said I need complete rest. No stress. Tried to read. Couldn't focus. My mind is just shattered. Meanwhile, Tyler the PI has been worth his weight in gold. He called me late Wednesday afternoon, just over 24 hours after he started. Mr. P. Tyler, got some initial, very clear visuals for you. My stomach clenched. Already? Your wife, Julie? Her complete rest is impressively active. He emailed the first batch of photos, clear as day. Photo 1, Julie, Tuesday morning, mere hours after our breakdown discussion. The day PI started, looking chic in activewear, sunglasses on, laughing with her friend Heather, leaving a trendy spin class. Photo 2, Julie and Heather, Tuesday afternoon, at an outdoor cafe, clinking mimosa glasses. The can barely eat Julie was devouring a massive avocado toast. Photo 3, Julie, Wednesday morning, browse expensive handbags at a department store. Not just browse, she was there over an hour. Her shattered mind seemed laser-focused on a designer clutch. My blood pressure spiked. But my face? Poker. This wasn't just about avoiding papers. This was her living it up while angling to paint me as the villain. The audacity. I didn't wait. Thursday morning, I met my lawyer, showed her the initial evidence. She was, to put it mildly, furious on my behalf. This is textbook bad faith, Peter. By Thursday afternoon, barely 72 hours after Julie's breakdown performance, my lawyer had dispatched a sharply worded letter to Julie's counsel. It stated our awareness of Julie's activities, attached copies of those first damning photos, the spin class, the mimosas, the shopping, and reiterated our expectation that the originally agreed-upon divorce papers be signed by Monday, or we'd be filing to compel and would introduce this evidence of misrepresentation. Seeing those photos, knowing that by Friday, exactly 3 days after hiring Tyler, Julie and her lawyer were now staring at undeniable proof of her charade, I knew her elaborate plan, whatever its full scope, had fundamentally collapsed. She'd been caught, red-handed, in the opening act of her deception. The rest would be her flailing, but the core of her strategy was already dead in the water. I continued my concerned texts to Julie, just to see. Me, Thursday evening, hey, just checking in. How was your day? Julie, voice tight when she finally replied late Thursday. Difficult. Very stressful. I bet it was once her lawyer called her. The entitlement is staggering. She genuinely thought she could pull this off. Tyler also noted she'd hastily scheduled a meeting with a new lawyer for Friday afternoon, not our amicable one. This new one was a known shark. So her original plan A, the breakdown, was already shot, and she was scrambling for a plan B. Too late. The cracks were not just showing, the foundations of her deceit were crumbling. Update. So Julie's original plan to feign a breakdown and delay the divorce indefinitely? That backfired on her pretty spectacularly by the end of last week, thanks to Tyler's swift work and my lawyer's quick countermove. As predicted, receiving that letter with photographic proof of her active recovery sent her and her now new shark lawyer, Mr. Aaron, into a tailspin. But did she gracefully admit defeat? Oh no, entitlement like Julie's doesn't just evaporate, it mutates. Her new strategy, cooked up with Mr. Aaron, was clearly if you can't feign illness, feign victimhood, and escalate demands. The weekend brought the emergency. Saturday morning, a frantic call from Julie. Julie, Peter? Oh my goodness, you need to come over. It's the basement. It's flooded. Instantly suspicious. Flooded? How? Did a pipe burst? I don't know, I just went down there to get the old photo albums, thought looking at good memories might help my state of mind, and there's water everywhere. My precious memories ruined. And all your old work files are down there too. Told her I'd come. Called Tyler, change of plans, meet me near the house, suspect manufactured crisis. At the house, Julie is in full drama mode. Tear-streaked face or artfully applied water, wringing hands. Disaster Peter, need a plumber, restoration company, thousands. A brochure for Aqua Resolve emergency plumbers was conveniently on the counter. Basement, half an inch of water in one corner, and a garden hose snaked in from the outside tap tucked behind boxes. Outside tap still dripping. I looked at the hose, then Julie. Her face shifted from distraught to busted. Julie. Oh, that I was watering hydrangeas earlier and must have forgotten to. Me, to bring the hose inside and turn it on slightly to flood the basement, Julie. Is that what you forgot? She stammered. No, I mean, it must have, I don't know how. I just shook my head. I'll take care of it. Turned off the tap, coiled the hose, used the wet-dry vac. Done in 20 minutes. Files are fine, Julie. Albums too, I said flatly. Try to be more careful. Her look. Fury, quickly masked by a wounded expression. I'm just so out of it, Peter. Not myself. No kidding. Tyler, parked nearby, documented the whole charade. Monday, Mr. Aaron sends my lawyer an email. A masterpiece of audacity. Claims Julie's recent acute mental health crisis, further aggravated by Mr. P's accusatory response to her breakdown, evidenced by the threatening legal letter containing illegally obtained photographs and subsequent neglect during the basement flooding incident, means she now requires, indefinite, significantly higher spousal support, the entire house, free and clear, me to cover all her legal fees, me to pay for her $15,000 essential therapeutic wellness retreat. My lawyer called me, practically laughing. Peter, this is desperation. They know we have her on the initial deceit, so they're trying to muddy the waters and up the ante. Tyler, meanwhile, continued to gather more evidence of Julie's actual lifestyle. A loud concert with Heather, looking very untraumatized, more shopping, dinners out. My evidence folder was becoming a novel. My nice guy patience was long gone. Not that I exploded. I got colder. I told my lawyer, okay, let them have until their original Monday deadline to sign the first agreement. If not, we file everything. Heather, Julie's buddy, even called me, accusing me of stalking and harassment. Me? Heather, this is between lawyers. Julie knows what she did. If she wants this to end smoothly, she knows how. If not, it gets messier and not in her favor. Fraud is serious. Click. The original deadline, Monday for my lawyer's first letter, came and went without the signed papers. Just more bluster from Mr. Aaron. We were ready. Update. Well, folks, it's over. The whole darn circus, and the ending was satisfying, not in a fireworks and explosions way, but in a quiet, watch the house of cards tumble kind of way. After Julie missed the initial Monday deadline set in our first letter, the one with the teaser photos, her lawyer, Mr. Aaron, sent another blustering response filled with more outrageous demands, essentially doubling down on the list from the basement flood aftermath. Pure deflection. My lawyer didn't even bother with another letter. Tuesday morning, she filed our motion to compel, attaching the full dossier Tyler had compiled. Every photo, every time-stamped report of her breakdown activities, spin classes, mimosas, shopping, concerts, dinners out, juxtaposed with her claims of incapacitation, my affidavit about the garden hose incident, and a preliminary look from a forensic accountant at her recent, rather lavish spending on personal credit cards. It painted an undeniable picture of deceit. The court date for the motion was set for the following Monday. That gave them almost a week to stew. The Thursday before the court date, my lawyer gets a call. It's Mr. Aaron. His tone, significantly less shark-like, more like a deflated balloon. He said, and I quote my lawyer here, my client may have inadvertently given an impression that overstated the extent of her current incapacitation. Really? Mr. Aaron said Julie was now willing to reconsider the original settlement terms and asked if we could meet before the court date to finalize. He sounded like a man whose client had finally confessed the full extent of her lies to him. My lawyer, being the impressive professional she is, said, Mr. Aaron, the original settlement terms from a position of amicable agreement are long gone, given your client's demonstrable bad faith, her attempts to defraud my client and the court, and the significant unnecessary legal fees and emotional distress she has caused. However, Mr. P is prepared to settle. He will revert to the financials of the original asset division. There will be no spousal support beyond the minimal transitional period initially offered. Furthermore, Miss Julie will be responsible for a significant portion of Mr. P's legal fees incurred due to her fabrications. If these terms are not met, we will happily present our full case, including all evidence of her misrepresentations, in open court on Monday. The silence on the other end, my lawyer said, was profound. Mr. Aaron called back an hour later. Miss Julie agrees to those terms. Just like that. They wanted to avoid the public humiliation of Tyler's full evidence portfolio being aired. They knew they were defeated. The threat of having to pay my legal fees on top of her own, plus getting absolutely nothing she'd schemed for, was the nail in the coffin. We met at my lawyer's office that Friday. Julie was there with Mr. Aaron. She looked small. Pale, yes, but not artfully so this time. Just defeated. She wouldn't make eye contact with me, signed everything put in front of her. The divorce papers, the revised settlement agreement reflecting the terms my lawyer laid out. No more talk of wellness retreats or lifelong support. No Roomba. The only words she said directly to me in a low mumble as she was leaving were, "You didn't have to be so cruel." I just looked at her. "Julie," I said, my voice quiet but firm. "I wasn't cruel. I was honest and I responded to your actions. You chose deceit. This isn't on me. These are the consequences." She kind of crumpled. Mr. Aaron had to steer her out. The breakdown, miraculously cured. Tyler, doing one final, unnecessary but satisfying for me, check, saw her later that evening. Not at a spin class, at a bar with Heather, drinking, and not mimosas, hard liquor. Looked like she was actually crying this time. Real tears. So it's done. I'm divorced. I got what was fair. She got what was fair, minus a chunk for my legal fees. Her grand plan, which she thought was so clever, collapsed under the weight of her own lies, starting just days after she initiated it. The house is being sold. We split the proceeds. I'm good with my rental. It's peaceful. Feel good? Not, yay, I won. More, relieved, vindicated, that the truth came out and her manipulation failed. I didn't set out for revenge. I just won it out, fairly. Her greed and entitlement were her undoing. My lawyer said it's rare to see such a blatant attempt at fraud fall apart so decisively. She credited my calm approach and the quick, solid evidence. To anyone out there dealing with a manipulative ex, stay calm, gather evidence, legally, and let their own actions be their downfall. As for me, I'm looking forward. Moving on. Maybe I'll even buy myself a new Roomba, just because. Thanks for listening, Reddit.